Hello and welcome to another session of OA Accountancy Stuff. In today's video, we are beginning a new series called the Cashbook. If you are new to this channel, I will encourage you to kindly subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that any moment we upload a new video, you will be notified. The Cashbook is a book that's used to record all receipt and payment of cash and bank transactions on daily basis. By this, we mean that it is a combination of the cash account we already know, and then the bank account. So it means it is a single book that has column for the cash transactions and also has separate column for bank transactions. That's what a cash book is. A cash book is a book of prime entry because it is the book into which all cash and bank transactions are first recorded. If you remember, in the books of account video, we said that books of original entry or subsidiary books or day books or journals are the books into which accounting transactions are first recorded. And this cash book we are talking of is the book into which all cash and bank transactions are first recorded. Due to this, the cash book is regarded as part of the books of original entry. This same cash book can also be regarded as an account because it has a debit side as well as a credit side, and it also goes by the double entry principle. Every account has a debit side and a credit side, and it goes by the double entry principle. The same cash book can also be regarded as a ledger because it is the final resting place of cash and bank transactions. Or when cash and bank transactions are recorded in them, they are not further posted to any other account. In definition of ledgers in the books of account video, we said that ledgers are the final resting place of accounting transactions, or they are the books into which accounting transactions are recorded after journalizing. Thus, after accounting transactions have been recorded in the subsidiary or in the books of prime entry, then they are later posted to the ledgers. And because when cash and bank transactions are recorded in the cash book, they are not further posted to any other account, then this cash book has the qualities to be called a ledger. Basically, cash book can be categorized into four, and they are: one, we have one column or single column cash book. We have one column or single column cash book. We have two column or double column cash book. We have three column or triple column cash book. And finally, we have the petty cash books. So these are the four categories of cash books. We have the one column or single column cash book. We have the two column or double column cash book. We have the three column or triple column cash book. And finally, we have the petty cash book. So the one column or single column cash book is a cash book that has only one column for amount, and it has the same features as any other account. So the one column or single column cash book has the same features as the sales account, it has the same features as the purchases account, it has the same features as any other account. So the two column or the double column cash book has the same features as a one or single column cash book with the exception of the amount column. The two or double column cash book, as the name goes, has two separate columns for amounts. One column recording all cash transactions and the other one recording all check or bank transactions. The 3-column or triple column cash book also has the same features as the 2-column cash book with the exception of the amount column. So as the name goes, the 3 or triple column cash book has 3 separate columns for amounts. One column recording all cash transactions, the next one recording all bank transactions, and the final one recording discounts. The petty cash book, however, is also a cash book that's used to record all petty expenses. So let's get to know the format of each of these cash books. So as said earlier, the 1-column or the single column cash book has the same features as any other account. So it has the title of the account as any other account. So we will write cash book into bracket single column. Then we will neatly underline it. So the single column, as any other account, has the debit side as well as the credit side. But in Cashbook, the debit side is regarded as the receipt side and the credit side is considered as the payment side. So on the debit side, as any other account, it has a column for dates. So it has a column for dates. After the dates, it has a column for particulars or narration or details. After this, it has a column for ledger folio. So you can write LF to represent ledger folio, and it is spelled as ledger folio. And then finally, it has a column for amount. Then you bring the currency beside it or under it. So let's assume we are working in dollars. So on the payment side or on the credit side also, it has a column for dates. It has a column for narration or details or particulars. It also has a column for ledger folio. So we can write LF to represent ledger folio. And finally, it has a column for amount. Then we bring the currency we are working in. The date column tells when the transaction took place. The narration or the details or the particular column also gives brief description of the transaction. So it tells the name of the account the corresponding bookkeeping is recorded in. If you remember, in the double entry rule video, we said that every single transaction affects two accounts. One should be debited and the other one should be credited. So if one transaction is recorded here, the name of the corresponding account will be written under the narration of the cash book. The ledger folio, however, also tells the page of the ledger into which the corresponding bookkeeping can be found. The amount column also tells the amount of money involved in the transaction. So the same applies to the credit or the payment side of the single column cash book. So this is the format of a single column cash book. Okay, now let's look at the double or the 2-column cash book. So as we said, the double or the 2-column cash book has the same features as the single or the 1-column cash book with the exception of the amount column. So under the double or 2-column cash book, it has 2 separate columns for amount. So we will divide the amount column into 2. The first amount column will take care of all cash transactions, and the last one will record all bank or check transactions. So the same thing will apply to the payment or the credit side. We have cash column and bank column. Some key things that will be used in the double column cash book is 1. A contra entry or contra entries. A contra entry is said to happen when a transaction affects both the cash column and the bank column of the cash book. We said earlier on that every single transaction should affect two books. One should be debited and the other one should be credited. So let's assume a transaction which involves both the cash and the bank accounts. One account will be debited and the other account is said to be credited. So if this happens, then such transaction is considered as a contra entry because both the cash column or the cash account can be found in the cash book, and then the bank account can also be found in the cash book. So since they are all in the same book, then we consider such a transaction as contra entry. So the contra entry is represented by letter C, and it is written under the ledger folio column. So let's assume a transaction like, let's say, a business withdrew cash from its bank account for business use. In this case, the business bank account will be reduced, and that we will credit the business bank account and then debit the business cash account. So what we'll be doing is that let's assume the date is 30th January. So we will write 30th January 2023. Since we are withdrawing cash from the bank account of the business for business use, then it means our bank column of the cash book will be credited. So we will credit our bank column by, let's assume the transaction is $1,000. So we will credit the bank column by $1,000. And then the narration will be cash because cash is the corresponding account that's involved. So after this, then we will need to debit our cash column also by $1,000. So we will debit our cash column by $1,000 in the name of bank. And the date is 30th January 2023. So after doing this, then we are saying that whenever a transaction involves both the cash column and the bank column of the cash book, then such a transaction is considered as a contra entry. And a contra entry is represented by a letter C, and it is written under the ledger folio column. So we will indicate letter C under the ledger folio column for both sides. So letter C will be written here to show that this transaction is a contra entry. And the next one that we need to throw light on is the bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is said to happen when the balance BD of the bank column of the cash book is on the credit side of the cash book, and thus when the bank column of the cash book is having credit balance. This is as a result of excessive withdrawing out of money than what was taken in. Due to the availability of credit facilities by banks, one can over-withdraw more than he or she has in the bank account. So we are saying that bank overdraft is any situation where the balance BD of the bank column of the cash book is located on the credit side or on the payment side of the cash book. The cash column can never has a credit balance because you cannot overspend more than you have in your pocket, or you cannot overspend more than you have in your hands. So the cash column can only has a debit balance, or it will not have a balance at all. And when it does not have a balance, then it means that you spent all what you have in your hands. So there are only two circumstances where the contra entry can happen. And the first one is when a business withdraws cash from its bank account for business use. And the second one is when a business withdraws cash from its cash account and deposits it into its bank account. So in these two transactions, you will realize that it involves both the cash account and then the bank account. Whenever a business withdraws cash from its cash account and deposits it into 8 bank account, then it means that the cash account will be credited and then the bank account will be debited. Or whenever a business withdraws cash from 8 bank account and deposits it into 8 cash account, then it means that the bank account will be credited and then the cash account will be debited. Let's look at the triple column or the 3-column cash book format. As we said earlier, the 3 or triple column cash book also has the same features as the 2 or double column cash book, with the exception of the amount column. So the 3 or triple column cash book, as the name insinuates, has 3 separate columns for amount. So the amount column is divided into 3. So we have the first one, the second one, and the last one. And the same thing applies to the payment side. The name of the cash book should be changed to triple column cash book. So the first column records discounts. The second column records cash. And the next one records check or bank transactions. And this is the receipt side. So the payment side also records discounts, cash, and bank. This discount received and this discount allowed. And in any case, you need to indicate the currency you are working in. So let's assume we are working in dollars. We will bring the sign of the currency we are working in. But one thing that you need to be mindful of is that credit transactions are not recorded in the cash book. So as said earlier, the triple or 3-column cash book has the same features as the double column cash book with the exception of the amount column. This first column of the amount records all discounts allowed. The next one records all cash transactions, and the final column of the amount records all check or bank transactions. On the payment side too, we have discount received column, we have the cash column, and then the bank column. So we will end here, and if you are new to this channel, I will encourage you to kindly subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that any moment we upload a new video, you will be notified on your various devices. Until we meet again, it is bye for now.